Why I might not be right, I sure as fuck ain't wrong. I've had people, fans, critics, friends, question some of my actions I've taken. I, for the most part, aren't necessarily upset at these doubts. I'm gonna tackle these here and you can believe what you want. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not sorry. I'm doubling down on everything. Not all of these questions will be exact, but paraphrases to get across a general idea. Dear Midnight Chimes MLP, you have the perfect voice to do this current affair style piece. But let's get to the critique.
We all crave attention on YouTube, whether we are honest about it or not. I'll be the first to admit that that's why I'm here. I'm certainly not doing this to make friends. Attention in itself is actually fairly easy to gain. It is doing so without compromising credibility, which is the challenge, and I'll talk about the importance of credibility more in a moment.
Now, I tried to address this in the comments, love your video by the way. You said that you weren't interested in making friends, but talked about the significance of credibility. Now, to be clear, the point of having credibility isn't just for yourself. Now, maybe I'm missing the point, but if you don't care about what other people think, why would credibility matter? Credibility is a matter on how the rest of the world views you. And I do apologize for the oversimplification. Most people, not all, care about who care about them. If someone comes off as lacking empathy or understanding, it very much hurts their credibility. The person that comes to mind is Biter.
Sure, I'm going to handle you mightily.
When he told me he made things just for him. Now, admirable as that may be on some level, it's not going to make you a powerful authority, influential or credible. Moving on.
Attention is by being a dick to other individuals. This method is tried and tested, and certain members of the community, such as Lily Pete or ForNoGoodReason, have already perfected it.
Perfected is a strong word. I and Lily fumble quite a bit, me more than her. I think my track record speaks for itself. But we'll get there.
But they are self-aware and choose their targets very carefully, and not only that, they make sure to follow up every creative put-down with a valid criticism. You see, the key is that however brutally they ravage their victim of the week, whether it be Tommy Oliver, Keyblade Pony, or Patrick Robery, they must be seen as justified, because ultimately they are the good guy.
Let's walk that back a moment. Justified and good guy are two different entirely things. Justified simply means the person who's interpreting your actions was able to come to an understanding on why you did it, because they might have taken similarly enough steps to mirror yours to a significant degree. The problem with being called the good guy assumes the audience is right. Oh my little ponies, I've seen so many caustic comment sections in the fan base. This is a dangerous assumption. In fact, I'm pretty sure I pinched the video title from this line. I can justify a lot of god-awful things I've done as necessary. I wouldn't pretend to tell you I was a good guy.
It pinned down perfectly. FNGR takes it too far on occasion, but that can have a unique appeal in itself.
Seeing as how you pointed to me screaming at Brick Brony, I would like to point out I was asked to handle that situation by the Secret Rift management. I will repeat that again. I, for no good reason, by the people who express an understanding how I handle things, and yeah, those people don't frown on the finished product. I understand how Brick Bronygate might have seemed excessive. Now I understand it's the same reason why I initially reached out to Brick Brony when I saw him. Being treated like a leper, I assumed some of Reno Mills' behavior around Matthias and Brick Brony were excessive, blah blah blah.
Before I start this commentary, I have one thing to say to David Wash 3R3 and Ryan Rhino Mills. Bring it on.
As well as many of the other members of the Brony community for having a disdain for Brick's core beliefs. I bent over backwards at length to give Brick Brony a shot in the old Rift Cafe as well as Limbo. In the end, a laundry list of complaints that included making Spirited Rainbow and Cat Avenger uncomfortable, betraying my trust, blaming his autism whenever he screamed about it. Long story short, I'm not sorry for how brutal I was with Brick. I don't handle any of that lightly. You're free to come on down to Limbo and to be told by the Brony community or the commentary community.
Listen, and if you know a bit of history, you'll know that he was not exactly going through an easy time when the Golden Fox Rant was released. Consequently, MisAnthro Pony could no longer be seen as the good guy. The whole thing backfired, and before long the usual suspects had thrown in their contribution to the drama.
Oh, buddy boy!
If I may, I didn't defend Golden Fox because he was having a difficult time in his life. I defended him because he was right to feel the way he did about the content. As for the usual suspects, I had my eye on MisAnthro Pony since the trailer he put out before all of his hit videos. I want to state that again. I was utterly dumbfounded when Goldie was on that list in the first place. I was confused by Mage, and more than willing to throw punches when it came down to Tommy and Digi. I'll be completely honest, without Mage or Goldie, that fight still would have happened. I didn't give a rat's ass if I was the good guy or not, as you clearly went to my most harsh video on the topic, you can verify that. I saw the degree of aggression and responded in kind. I also did videos far more understanding, like the Brony War and my gift on why it exists, where I gently tried to discourage MisAnthro Pony's attacks when brute force failed to get the job done. Might I add, this is the video that cost me getting Josh Scorcher on Limbo podcast. I had piqued his interest during the past analysis video. He saw this video as me being nothing more than a troublemaker. Again, I'm not pretending I'm right, but I do feel my actions ultimately stopped what was going on and led to Map being less toxic.
MAP was now seen as no more than another dirty internet bully, and more importantly, he had forfeited his credibility.
This isn't a bad interpretation, but I don't think you gather the why behind MisAnthro Pony. Season 4 of Brony Analysis and Review was filled with a lot of anger from fans and figureheads of the community. Digibro was getting fed up with the community, and I do stress the community as he held Season 4 as his favorite season. Tommy Oliver was being pushed to the brink, having to censor what he wanted to say, which boiled over much later. Mr. Enter started his forced positivity death march / crusade, which, might I add, Dr. Wolf didn't exactly help matters by encouraging that lunatic.
Sure, in the meantime, I gotta go make a defense for every single problem in Meridowell.
I wish you the best of luck with that.
Which leads me to MisAnthro Pony. For better or for worse, Map's attacks would have become the living embodiment of the "you have to be positive" movement, which was started by John Enter, which oddly enough he never had the wherewithal to return back to, because the mysterious Mr. Enter doesn't like to be challenged, and why it might be easy to call the commentary community a bunch of bullies, as incorrect as that might be, he would look like an even bigger asshole doing that to the Brony Analysis community. Now, was all of Mr. Enter's baggage MisAnthro's? No. But when he came from that stance, the most he could have ever hoped for is, I can be their good guy. I mean, think about it. Champions John Enter, beats up Biter. Now here's where I feel he lost John Enter's push from the fans. Mr. Enter doesn't admit when he's wrong. He doesn't come out and talk to the opposition. The reason why is he'd fucking lose his ass. And that's exactly what happened. Now, I'm happy that MisAnthro Pony didn't become John Enter II. I think he did the right thing. But if this boiled down to credibility, how come the mysterious Mr. Enter, after all the bold huff and puff at the end of Season 4 and never following it through, never lost an ounce of fame? Credibility had fuck all to do with this, and Map never had any to begin with. He had an interesting story and a gimmick. MisAnthro Pony got the Brony community to roleplay with him, and yes, even me. Everyone who got involved in that whole mess bought into the fantasy of high-stakes drama, that something major was on the line, that there was good guys, bad guys, and the fate of Brony review analysis would change forever if the wrong person won.
As we complain about it being overused in the show, we internet bronies love a good redemption arc, and that is what MAP is cashing in on.
I'd like to state one more time for the record, the person who spun that narrative, that was me. See, again, I'm not mad, because anyone starting to dissect this whole train wreck will likely come to the same conclusion, that this was a long-term clever ruse to get Map over in the Brony community. I Am British Ninja thought that MisAnthro Pony set out to lose, repent, and get accepted, banking on Brony's capacity for forgiveness. That makes sense. I was the first person when this was happening to say to the Looney Turtle, hey, we're not going to let that guy in here, when I was talking about the Analysis Rift, only to later on go, hey, I know what I said before about never, but I mean, things have really changed. I think it would be a great idea, blah blah blah, if we let MisAnthro Pony in the room. If Map was cold and calculated as you make him out to be, if MisAnthro Pony was a marketing genius, then why till recently did he not have a channel layout? I mean, as little as 2 months ago, he had to click on the videos button to get to his content, which, while not a big deal, the more buttons you give to YouTubers, the less likely they are to click them. Not just that, but the Confessions series would have had more variety in the thumbnails, as opposed to just plain darkness in the OC. I mean, seriously, if you're asking people to spend 30 to 50 minutes on each of 8 videos, it doesn't take a degree in marketing to see, hey, this isn't going to keep the bulk of my fanbase's attention.
That he is completely sincere, but it doesn't matter because his selling strategy is working. I can tell you that MisAnthro Pony is not a great analyst. Sure, he's a good analyst, but that isn't enough. The editor, British Ninja, and a number of others I could name who do not have subcounts in the quadruple figures are all good analysts.
I wouldn't call it a strategy with Map other than he buys his own hype. The person who drinks the most MisAnthro Pony brand Kool-Aid is MisAnthro Pony. And while I love the editor, and editor, I think you're Neato Mosquito, if me and Kichi ever get married, you're invited. However, Midnight Chimes, I challenge you to cross-comparison between MisAnthro Pony's work and the editor's. While the votes by Analysis Daily fans do agree with you, I can't help but feel like I'm missing something here. It wouldn't be the first time I'd be proven wrong like this. I had the Burning Donut Midnight Anubis explained to me in detail while A Bag of Ikenin was significantly better than, say, Watchful Ponies. But I would like to see what you're talking about when you say that MisAnthro Pony is a good step behind certain people.
Pony's subscribers aren't there because of his analysis. They might have stayed for his analysis, but that is not why they came.
If you look at the views, you can see that they didn't stick around for the Apology series. It's more fun to believe that MisAnthro Pony is a clever supervillain. In reality, he's a guy who wears his emotions on his sleeve, and that's why people fell in love with him. Not because of sincerity, but because he was a guy who spoke to them. To many of these fans, he felt like a friend, saying what they couldn't for better or for worse. Midnight Chimes, you should come on down to Limbo. After all, without friends, you might end up like Aunt Lily. Dear FNGR, you understand cartoons is a work. Dear random citizen of YouTube, is it really that hard to believe that Toon Critic suffered a psychotic break? Toon Critic is a high-profile member of the analysis and review community and has the pressure of juggling family, friends, multiple cons, tens of thousands plus subscribers, trolls from the PFC, horse news, and untalented twats, all the way from gay Paris, and literally a legion of Pepe Le Pews. If you had to smell the dozens and dozens of protesting Frenchmen outside your door who smelled like wet feet wrapped in ass, you might have a nervous breakdown too! Also, I want to give a shout out to Standing Leaf, who's fine harassing Toon Critic, but then whines when I check him for his bitch behavior. Typical French PFC behavior, Mr. Standing Leaf. Dear LightningSword Studios, I'd like to respond to your comment on FimFiction.
Please tell me he's just trying to be funny. Or is at least not well liked for doing what he does in earnest. Attacking well-known bronies for the mistakes and bad decisions they make. Don't we get that enough? Why is it so fun to watch bronies tear each other apart?
There are in fact times I'm goofing on friends and loved ones. I give Kichi FIM a world of grief and she repays the favor because that's how we roll around here. As for attacking well-known bronies for mistakes they made, Brony was never a bomb shelter from the real world. I've taken a peek at some of your work, and...
by Michael Vogel, who also wrote some Christmassy thing with Starglam What's-Her-Face that I don't know, whatever. Okay, let's get to it. Well, speak of the devil, there's Special Snowflake Glimmer right now, joining the main six to fix the cutie map, which, because it hasn't worked since Starlight's time-traveling temper tantrum, we can assume she messed it up.
I can safely say your content is not for me. While I don't agree with or appreciate your stance on Starlight Glimmer, you have every right in the world to have a different worldview than myself. If you have a problem with that, bucko, here's a comment section, speak up. You're talking from a place of ignorance, and I'm glad to tell you what the real brony community is like, not some sugar-coated candy shitfest that you have in your mind. I always appreciate a more diverse range of opinions, even if it's ones I don't like. But there can be no discussion when you are whispering your thoughts on FimFiction to your fans. Should you decline my offer, I may respond to you further, good sir. Dear FNGR, are you being a bit harsh with Minty Root? Not even close. This man ruined the Rift Cafe. He never apologized for it. He sent Corpulent Brony to shake Fallen Wish down for money. Made the PFC a bigger shithole, if that's even possible. I can safely say I've never had a good experience with this man. He's a weasel, with zero redeeming qualities, which is why Sheldon Blackwater loves this ooh la la unwashing ass so much. When we left one of Toon's panels, we could smell him and his fans oozing into the room. I shit you not. You could literally see their funk. It was like watching Pigpen from Peanuts. Dear Minty, the grapevine has it your recent allies have grown tired of your tedious bullshit. Well, whether that's from you being you, or the fact that I bumped into Fatty Rado Samori at BronyCon, I've passed from son of a bitch to potentially forgettable territory. I think you've vastly overplayed your hand. You've lost your allies that are going to do the damage for you. I think they just got tired of you. So, this is what's gonna happen. Our side that hates you is able to thrive in drama. We have multiple mouthpieces with multiple channels that likely will benefit from this continued bullshit with you. You, on the other hand, Minty, have a squeaky clean channel. Your fans will become more and more horrified as they get to meet the real you. You should have taken Toon's deal, kiddo. Good night and good luck. Dear Standing Leaf, I noticed you wanted to correct me and Limbo's recent behavior with Minty Root. I couldn't help but notice you put Double Rainboom up without permission. In its original entirety, which does not fall under fair use. I don't need to be lectured by morality by an art thief. I mean, you got 200,000 views off of someone else's work. I can't imagine Minty would be okay with this. But then again, he's underwhelmed me with his morals before. Dear Brushstroke, till Tuesday, when you called Secret Dreamer a slut, I was convinced that you had a mini stroke. There must have been some massive lapse of judgment that you could say that your former best friend is a slut. I thought that eventually one day the truth would be revealed and we'd all have a good laugh and move on. Recently, while Pastel Prose was unable to be around, she was dealing with real life together, you took the time with your boyfriend and some other asshole to tell Pastel's bae what a god-awful human being Pastel Prose is. I would like to remind people when Secret Dreamer was shaken by Brushstroke's betrayal, Pastel roared into the room and begged Secret Dreamer to forgive you. I personally thought it was gonna happen. Apparently, Dreamer has a much better judgment of character than I have. Since you've shown up in the room to defend Keyblade and called Secret a slut, and tried to break up Pastel Prose's relationship because you didn't feel loved enough as a friend, this is where I would explain in eloquent form you're a massive cunt. However, I'm dumbfounded. I've never seen someone, for the most part, be cruising along and then just crash headlong into the wall as fast as they can who wasn't in the Pony Fuck cast. No, seriously, this is right up there with Sheldon calling Toon's girlfriend a fat, dumb radio edit. Like, if you were an 8chan troll, I'd get that. If this were some kind of troll. Is there something I'm missing out on? I heard you threaten to put a wicking curse on Pastel after studying that crap for about 2 days. I gotta ask, and this isn't me taking a swipe at Wiccans, are you taking bath salts? I mean, I could scream at you, but seeing as how you're Pastel Prose's former friend, that clearly must not work. I think there's more than enough about you to spend a whole video or making multiple videos asking why you're so fucked up. You're one of the few idiots in the world that I've ever dealt with where I can't even fathom the level of your logical thought. Like, am I the crazy one here? Have you attained some new level of understanding I can't comprehend? So I'm gonna guess you're on some serious drugs, you're not getting enough vitamins in your diet, or you need medication because normal sane people don't reach this level of crazy. Whatever you're doing in your life, right now, take a breather and reevaluate it. I say this because of all the people you're having a go at are really cool people who, at one time or another, would have fought for the death for you. Do me a favor, stop being batshit retarded. Thank you! Dear FNGR, I agree with most of what you had to say except for Mandy-chan in How Not To Brony 9. Again, this isn't an exact quote because it comes from a couple of places from a couple of people. Let's look at the footage. Now, I'm not a doctor and I don't pretend to completely understand autism or Down syndrome. If you're claiming that you understand these entirely without a medical degree, by God, what are you doing here? Go lad, go for the good of the land and spread the word. I, however, have dealt with several people from Brick Brony to British Brony to AJ who use their autism as an invincible shield or a press A to win. I at this point have zero patience for this excuse, seeing as how British Ninja and Aeon Dreams are both on that spectrum, which still leaves the Down syndrome, which every time I've thought about this video, I've second guessed myself until I remember the footage. Now, I'm not going to pick on her for editing. It's about as good as mine was back in the day. Hell, I'd even say hers is a little bit better. What you did was wrong is because she doesn't know any better. That the mental impairment is stopping a level of comprehension on whether you can call this right or wrong, or proper or improper. As a poker player, I can get a pretty good read on people. That opening smile here is what you can call a tell. Hey buddy! Mandy-chan is clearly enjoying doing this. She understands when talking, her emotion that she's conveying is joy, quickly turning to sadness when she addresses how she feels. I can't handle the stress. I'm breaking up with you. Now, skipping over what a massive dick move this was to make this public, there's literally no reason to argue this. On top of the reason that she did this because Pastel Prose yelled at her. Look, I love Pastel Prose. Up and down, and if she yelled at me about my girlfriend, I'd tell Pastel Prose to eat a fat cock. I would tell Pastel to eat a bag of day-old fat cocks. Even if it was a terrible relationship and it was the right action to make, it would be the right decision and the correct answer. By the way, class, take notes. Go fuck yourself is the correct answer. And yeah, I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, FNGR, poor sweet Mandy-chan couldn't hope to stand before Pastel Prose's righteous fury. And yeah, probably not, except Mandy-chan came up to Pastel Prose to sit her down about the AJ thing. Yes, had Mandy-chan been minding her own business and Pastel had gone up to her and gone, men suck dump AJ, I'd probably be having this conversation with someone else right now. However, that didn't happen, and this might happen one day, but today sadly isn't that case. There was no mistake, Mandy-chan chose to pick a fight with Pastel Prose, and when she lost, she chose to be left alone. And that's it, she dumped her boyfriend. She decided to have fun with it. There is no mental defect to excuse that. And, might I add, after this, is when AJ threatened to kill himself. And no one's saying that Mandy had to stay there when she didn't want to, but you should never discard someone just to shut someone else the fuck up. If you can't grasp that for whatever reason, I stand behind all the hate and vitriol. Thank you.